I'm absolutely delighted. I was very privileged to see the original plans a couple of months ago at the Supporters Advisory Board meeting, and I was very, very excited on the night. I felt they was better than what I'd anticipated, really, because first and foremost, as a fan, I think it's just important that we get everything right for our supporters. I want to go to the Olympic Stadium, be comfortable, be as near to the pitch as possible. So I'm really, really pleased and excited about the plans that have come out today. And I'm also excited because the fans get the chance to see them. It's been a long, long time coming. I think the fans have been brilliant. They've been very patient. I know there's been lots of questions asked, and some people are for going to the stadium, some people are against going to the stadium. But I think now the plans are out in the open today. I think everyone can sit down, they can go online, or they can just check the newspaper where the plans are going to be available, and they can make their own decision. And hopefully, the majority of the fans will be as excited as what I am about doing it, because I think it's a great move for the club. We need to move on. We need to try and push on as a football club. Listen, first and foremost, I'm like all the other fans. Do I really want to leave Upton Park, this fantastic ground? Of course I don't. Now, I don't think any of our fans want it. No one wants to leave the ground. But what I do want is for the club to move on. I want us to go on to the next level. I want us to try and compete. I want the club to compete first and foremost with the big London clubs, the likes of Arsenal and Chelsea and Tottenham, But if you look, Tottenham are currently going to sort of pretty much knock their ground down and move to a better stadium. Arsenal played at Highbury, and they're now at the Emirates, which is a wonderful stadium. Chelsea would move tomorrow if they was given the opportunity in the land to be able to do it. You look at other clubs, Manchester City have gone from Main Road to the Etihad Stadium. There's other clubs like Southampton and many, many others that have moved from really traditional grounds to brand new stadiums. And I think that's where we are. I keep coming back to it. Do we want to move? No, of course we don't. But we have to, because we want the club to move on to the next level. And I think Arsenal particularly. I think if we'd have sat here 15 years ago, if you'd have said to me, Arsenal are going to leave Highbury and move to a new stadium, I would have gone, whoa, don't be silly. You can't do that. You can't leave Highbury. But they've done it, and I think I think a lot of our fans, West Ham fans, have experienced the Emirates Stadium, and it's a wonderful experience to go to football and watch football in a great stadium. Wembley is another great example. The aura about the old Wembley was absolutely fantastic. Very privileged to have played there, and some wonderful memories, but it was aging. It was past its sell-by date. We needed to knock it down, and we needed to build the new Wembley. And I go there now as a season ticket holder. I go to Club Wembley, and I go to all the England games, as many of the cup finals and everything I can do. I love going to Wembley. It's a fantastic stadium. I mean, the history's not there yet. That's the thing you get with a new stadium. You don't have the history, but the history will come, and that's what will happen with the Olympic Stadium. We're going to go there. It's a brand new adventure for everyone at the club. We'll go there. There'll be no memories there, because we've got to create the memories and the wonderful games that we all remember at Upton Park, but that will come in time. And when the next generation, when I'm old and a great granddad and that, and my grandchildren and everything, and they'll only remember the Olympic Stadium, and they won't remember Upton Park, because we will create the new memories. And it's just really exciting times for the club, and I'm so pleased this day's arrived where we can now talk about it. As a player, I'd be excited if I found out, today, like we all have, that the club it's all confirmed. We can see the plans, and you can start to look forward to playing in the new stadium. And as a footballer, to play in the Olympic Stadium with all those memories, Usain Bolt and everything that's gone on, at the Olympics last year, which was a fantastic event. And we owe it to the legacy of the Olympics, I think, to continue that and make sure that there's lots of memories, new memories, created at the new stadium. But if I was a player now, I'd love to play at the new stadium. I really would, and I would try and make sure that I'm actually still at the club to make those dreams come true. And it's something else for the players to aim for. Yeah, of course we want the club to be successful in the meantime, retain our Premier League status. But if you've got the carrot of they're playing in the Olympic Stadium and that, I think it's going to be a wonderful opportunity for all the players. When we show potential players around, you can't fail to be impressed. If you walk around that Olympic Stadium, it's an inspiring stadium. And if we're looking to move on, if we're looking to be able to have more people in the ground, which more corporate and sponsorship opportunities, which ultimately will bring more money into the club. If we start to get more money coming into the club, you get the opportunity to sign better players, better international players. Hopefully one day a world-class player of some sort will come to West Ham, and we can sign him off the back of showing him around the Olympic Stadium saying, this is where we play our football now. So I think it'll be fantastic. I really do. I think one of the most important and key aspects that I've seen with the plans, well, there's actually two aspects. I think that the first is that we're going to bring the fans in as near to the pitch as physically possible. And I think secondly is the fact that we're going to get a brand new extension to the roof, which will help to keep the atmosphere in the ground. I mean, if you've got a huge open roof, then a lot of the atmosphere just disappears. You don't get that, the sound echoing around the stadium and that. But I think with the plans with the new roof and, like I say, being near to the pitch, I think our fans will create a fantastic atmosphere. We've always been vocal. Our fans have been wonderful, and this stadium's rocked for years, and there's been some wonderful nights, particularly under the floodlights at Upton Park. But I think in the future we'll be looking and saying, "Oh, we can't wait to play under the floodlights at the Olympic Stadium," and the atmosphere is going to be brilliant. It might take a while, and I've already said it. You can't. Rome wasn't built overnight, was it? You have to do it each little bit at a time. But eventually, the atmosphere will be there, and our fans will love it, and I'm sure it's going to be great for everyone concerned. It's a lot more than 35,000, which will mean that we can get more fans into the club. And I don't go along with people say to me, "Oh, we'll never fill the stadium." I don't agree with that. I really don't. I think if we've got a successful West Ham United Football Club, 60,000 won't be enough. We could have filled Wembley last year when we played Blackpool in the final. We could have got 90,000 West Ham fans in there. So if we're doing well, we might have to look at increasing the capacity in some way or other, because it won't be enough. And if we're just playing one of the lesser teams, I won't name anyone, but if we're playing one of the lesser teams in the Premier League, then we can do kids for a quid. It's been such a successful scheme that we've done here, and it's been wonderful as a dad, as a hard-working dad. If you can bring two children and it costs you £2 to bring those two kids to the match, fantastic opportunity. And I know David Gold and David Sullivan have already said that they're going, and Karen Brady as well, have already said they're going to look at lowering some of the prices where possible, to enable the fans to make it more cost effective. And that you can still, if you're getting the numbers in, then you can look at how much you're going to charge as an admission price. So I think that's they deserve great credit for that, and anything that can bring the cost of admission down and help families to go to football is great. And football is the number one sport in the world, and we want to encourage as many of our fans to come to the games as possible. And by being at the Olympic Stadium, there's a chance now to get more and more people into the stadium.